taken over mid-pandemic. Look, how's it going? Any surprises? What are the challenges?
Yeah, well, thank you first of all for having me on the show, and it's definitely been an interesting ride, but it's all good, and we're as a company performing quite well. We actually made a lot of great progress in 2021, a lot of momentum both in what we've achieved operationally and in the growth we're going to deliver this year, and you're going to see that momentum continue with growth into 2022 and even well beyond that into 2025. So as we look at it, obviously we, like everyone, are facing some unique challenges as we deal with the impact of COVID and the pandemic, but we've come through it fairly well and feel really good about where we are in our future going forward.
Rob, but unlike other companies, we're depending on you to also get through the pandemic, which brings me to your COVID fighting drug. Do you have any data as to how it performs against Omicron, for example, and then how you deal with that when it relates to other potential variants?
Yeah, well, as it relates to Omicron, we've done preclinical testing, and it does actually appear to work well against Omicron, so we believe it should. When we look at what is the mechanism of action of how molnupiravir works, actually it operates in a way that is not really tied to, if you think of it as the spike proteins on the coronavirus. So this is a drug that should and has shown that it works against the variants we've seen, and we would expect to work against variants we would see in the future as well.
Molnupiravir. There's something about drug names that I find incredibly hard to say. They always seem to be slightly more complicated than you first think they are when you first look at them. Rob, are you expecting any more orders? Can you give us an update? What do you think demand is going to look like? As you say, so far the readout fairly positive. Can you update us on, for instance, whether or not the US is going to be ordering any more?
Well, we'll have to see what the U.S. puts forward if they come forward for additional orders. But what we're really focused on right now is fulfilling the orders they have in place. And I'm proud to say we were able to, very shortly after we received emergency use authorization in December, we actually delivered the first 900,000 courses to the U.S. in December. We're going to have 3 million courses to the U.S. by the end of January. So we are ensuring that we get the product out there rapidly, not only in the United States, as well as outside the United States, where we have really focused on how we think about access. I'm very proud of how we partnered with voluntary licensees with the Medicines Patent Pool to make sure we get this drug out broadly to the people that need it. As you think about what is the demand we're seeing for this product, based on contracts we have on hand right now, cumulatively between what we're going to book in the fourth quarter, which is somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion, we expect by the time we get through the end of 2022, we'll hit the guidance range we'd indicated previously of about $5 to $7 billion of revenue from molnupiravir.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned earlier some of the challenges taking over the helm, and I'm wondering, what are the challenges to fulfilling that revenue goal? And that's really my way of asking about shortages, supply chain issues, staffing, pay.
Yeah, well, we're, obviously very focused on ensuring the supply chain. We started manufacturing at risk and had committed to have 10 million courses done before the end of 2021, which we achieved. So actually, we have 10 million courses now manufactured. It just needs to be labeled and shipped. And then our goal is to add at least another 20 million courses in 2022. So we're well on our way and have been very thoughtful about the supply chain to make sure we can have those deliveries. So I can tell you, based on the work we've done and what I'm hearing from my manufacturing team and our supply chain folks, we're confident we're going to deliver the product. We're not seeing issues. I give a lot of credit to my team because it has been a Herculean effort in really unprecedented times what they've been able to achieve.
Yeah, I think we all add our thanks to that team, those teams making sure that they're getting this out to the general public. Rob, one of the challenges with therapeutics like this is making sure that they are delivered at the appropriate time. Do you worry that the testing regimes, the availability of tests, are not good enough at this point to make sure that the people that need it get it?
Well, it's obviously that's something that I know governments are focused on. For us, it's about ensuring that if you're a patient who is diagnosed with COVID, that in that first 5 days you get on this therapy if you're someone who has mild to moderate disease with risk factors. So we're very much focused on ensuring we have the product available such that the governments can ensure they can bring it forward based on the testing.